Okay, I believe we are now recording. So welcome to this Q&A for everybody who is joining, listening to, or watching the recording. You are so welcome. Welcome to everybody here who has joined live. I love having loads of people live, but I know it's of course not possible for everybody to be here live. So I do appreciate your time and attention watching the replay. Okay, Monica Wince has the first question, the lovely Monica. And she says, here it is, the burning question. If I could make the time, would you recommend doing the strength training portion in twice in the same day for the duration? I think she means of Buns and Guns. I did do extra cardio as I can do that while working. However, strength training involves a different atmosphere. So doubling it up, is it suicide or is it doable? Really good question, Monica. And I'm going to give you my personal experience. I'm going to give you lots of different options. So first option, yes, it is doable. It is doable, but there's a but, okay, or there's an if. Doing two strength workouts in a day, especially if you're going to do Buns and Guns. Now, if you're going to repeat ButtCamp, then obviously you can repeat it. And this would apply to ButtCamp as well for those of you who don't intend to join Buns and Guns. But you can do two strength workouts in a day, but what you have to remember is that your body needs time to recover. And I have noticed, so what we're doing after Buns and Guns is we have another program launching called the Holiday Shred. Now, the Holiday Shred is not actually a competition. It's not a program where you are going to be, have like a start date and an end date. The reason why I created the Holiday Shred is because I don't want you all to finish Buns and Guns and be like, oh my God, what do we do over the holidays? I don't want to lose my progress. So I have created a program to keep you going over the holidays. It has new 30-minute workouts and new 15-minute workouts. So for those days whenever you're really short in time, you can do a 15-minute workout. It has all new cardio videos as well. So new cardio, new strength, new 15, 30 and 30-minute workouts. So, and it also has brand new holiday inspired meal plans. So I've done like, oh my goodness, I had so much fun creating the meal plans. It's all like pumpkin spiced stuff and like loads of sweet treats and things that you would be eating over the holidays. The meal plans are low in the holiday shred, so they're only 1,200 calories, but that's because I want you to be able to enjoy the holidays. So the meal plans are designed to be eaten kind of most of the time whenever you're not with family or whenever you're not, at parties or whatever. So it's kind of like a low calorie meal plan that you can follow consistently until you have something else that you need to be doing or eating or drinking or whatever. So I think a lot of times in the holidays, we don't know how to continue to maintain and just eat and drink whenever it's appropriate to eat and drink. Quite often people just completely fall off the wagon. They end up eating and drinking far too much, and then they put on loads of weight and they feel like they've regressed in their progress. So this is kind of your baseline plan that you will follow to make sure you're doing something every day over the holidays, and then you can hit the ground running in January and you can get started again. So that's why I've created it. But I'm telling you this because we need to record all the workouts for those brand new workouts. I have been on a really insane recording schedule to get Buns and Guns done. And I have been recording 2 workouts per day for Buns and Guns. And I just did 10 days straight of workouts, 2 workouts a day for Buns and Guns. And it really was not good for my body. I actually had the whole weekend off there. I didn't train on Saturday or Sunday. And I've come in today feeling like super refreshed. So the problem with doing 2 workouts a day is that it starts with the high volume and the low rest. It starts to take a real toll on your body if you're not resting your body. Because don't forget that muscle doesn't grow in the gym. Muscle doesn't grow when you're training or in the living room or in your bedroom, wherever you're doing them. Muscle doesn't grow when you're training it. Muscle grows when you're resting. So if you become overtrained, which it would be very easy to do with 2 high volume, high intensity workouts a day, if you did that consistently for a long period of time, you might burn loads of fat in the beginning, or you might really feel like, oh, you know what, I'm doing, fantastically here, and this is really good. But what you will find, I keep clicking something here, hopefully I clicked something, I don't know what I clicked, but anyway, hopefully it's fine. What you will find is if you did that consistently for a long period of time, you would very quickly become overtrained and you would actually hinder your progress, not help it. So doing more strength training every day doesn't actually help muscle to grow any faster. The only way it would help muscle to grow faster would be if you weren't working intensely. So if you held back in weights and you didn't lift your full lifting weights, or you didn't have access to your full lifting weights, then it would be helpful to do 2 workouts a day. But what I have found with recording 2 workouts a day for the last, and this has been for the last 2 weeks now, I've had to record 2 workouts a day. I have found that I haven't been able to go anywhere near my full lifting weights because I simply couldn't continue at that volume of training with my full weights. So I had to scale back. I had to go way down on weight just to be able to get through the 2 workouts a day and not completely burn myself out. But one of the other things that I found from doing the 2 workouts a day was my tendons started to hurt. So my tendons and my joints actually started to hurt from doing the 2 workouts a day. The other day I was in the kitchen, I leant over to lift my bag off the chair so one of the kids could sit down. And as I lifted, I was like, oh, like I got like a sharp pain in my shoulder, and it wasn't muscle, it was tendon related. So the only time I would ever recommend 2 workouts a day would be if you didn't have access to your full lifting weights, you only had a light booty band or no booty band, and you were doing it, without any weight. That's the only time the more volume would be helpful. But more volume at your full weights isn't helpful at all. It actually hinders your progress. So it's not something that I would recommend. And believe me, I have now been doing it for a long period of time. Well, a short period of time, actually, only really 2 weeks. And genuinely, last week, I felt like my body was broken. I got home every day. My body started to hurt in ways that wasn't just muscular soreness. It was tendon soreness, joint soreness, because whenever your muscles start to fatigue, then it starts to go into your tendons, into your joints, into your ligaments, and you never want to strain your tendons and your ligaments. You only want to be working your muscles. So it's not something that I would recommend from experience. Trust me, you can actually hinder your progress, not help it, if you do too much volume. So I would just recommend doing 1 workout a day, doing it to your absolute max. If you're doing that 5 days a week, believe me, that is enough. You do not need any more. Those rest periods on the weekend, like those 2 days completely off strength training, are so important for your recovery, for your muscle growth, for your mindset. I came in today after 2 days off. I haven't had 2 days off training, I would say, in a month. And I came in today like so refreshed. I had so much sleep on the weekend. I didn't even have loads of rest because we were actually at a big function on the weekend. But I came in today feeling super refreshed from not having trained on the weekend. So 1 workout a day with 1 cardio is absolutely fine. Even if you could do more, I wouldn't recommend it. What I would recommend is that you lift heavier or go more intensely in the workout that you're doing, and that will create more muscle growth. Okay, Becca Hansen. It's not explicitly said in the competition rules. But if we submitted correct pictures and then we ended up taking better pictures, can you submit again? And if you do, will that disqualify your previous entry? So Becca, it won't disqualify your previous entry. No, we do quite often have people upload several sets of photographs, and it's kind of just more annoying than anything else for the judges, because we will quite often then go, oh, this person, oh, hang on, this person's here again. And honestly, every competition as well, we have people upload the most random photographs. We get pictures of people's dogs, we get pictures of their landscapes, their walks, their husbands, their houses. It's almost like people go into their photo album and they just click like a million photos and just upload them. So we end up like getting the most random photos. It's absolutely hilarious. We've even had, let me tell you, a few photos that definitely people would not want us to see. We've had quite a few explicit photos uploaded, and I don't know what kind of selfies you girls are taking to send to your sexually active halves or boyfriends or girlfriends, whoever you're sending them to, but I kind of don't want to see them. So, as much as I love you, I'd rather not see your vagina. I have to be honest. So if you could resist from sending me dick pics, or doot shoots, as my sister calls them. Apparently, if you send a picture of your boobs to someone, it's called a doot shoot. No idea about that, but we do get the most random pictures uploaded. I would rather not get them. But to go back to your question, you can absolutely 100% upload a new set of photos if you want. Just know that it is more irritating for the judges. But if you took a better set of after photos, then yes, absolutely 100%. Go on ahead and upload them. It wouldn't disqualify you. But please do not be uploading loads and loads of different sets, okay? It's not our job to choose between the best ones. So if you upload 3 sets of photos, it's not our job to go, let me see which one is the best set of Laurie's photos. Okay, Laurie's looking beautiful here or looking beautiful here. Oh, she's definitely looking better here. It's not our job to choose between the best sets of photos. So try and make sure the ones you upload is the only set, but it absolutely wouldn't disqualify you. Actually, I've seen Becca's just joined there and I've just answered her question. Becca, you'll have to go back and listen to the replay. But basically what I was saying was, no, it won't disqualify you, but please try not to upload loads of photos, because then, you know, it's not our job to choose between the photos. It's your job to make sure that they're uploaded correctly. But no, absolutely won't disqualify you. Kimberly Millian is asking, she says, I also have a question regarding the pictures. Will posing differently from before and after be a reason for disqualification? So I'm not sure exactly what you mean by this, Kimberly, but you should pose this in the same poses that you see in the examples in the rules. We haven't had a lot of people asking questions this time that are in the rules, so you've all been very good at reading them. So a little round of applause for all of you. I'll give you a wee round of applause here. Lots and lots of people who have the ability to read and follow instructions in this ButtCamp group. I am highly impressed. But what are you saying? You do want to make sure that your poses are the same, but they don't have to be exactly the same. Like, you don't have to be like, okay, I'm looking at this photo and she has her shoulder exactly at a 43-degree angle on the right and a 42-degree angle on the left. So I'll make sure, no, it's like, are you standing arms beside the sides? You know, are you standing, you know, front pose, back pose, whatever? That's what we need to see. Now, if you upload a photo, unfortunately, where in your front pose you're standing like this, and in your second pose you have your arms slightly more out to the side, totally fine. Your arms are by your side. If you're doing like a double bicep, unfortunately that will not count. You will be disqualified. Same as the back shot as well. You know, you can't be standing, you know, like slightly to the side and looking over your shoulder in a sexy way. You have to be, you know, straight up from the back shot. So make sure that your before and afters are the same as in the example that we provide, and that is going to ensure your best chance for success. And then you will absolutely not be disqualified. And I have to be really honest with you guys and say, we don't disqualify many photos. Like, we're not absolutely rigid about the rules. You know, if a little bit of their after, you know, sign was cut off, we don't disqualify you. You know, we know that after sign is unique and that we created it. And if you have the after sign in the background and a bit of it's cut off, it doesn't really matter. If it's a bit faded or you ran out of ink in your printer, as long as we can see that it's the after photo, we're fine. If your feet are cut off, totally fine. Unless your feet are particularly shredded, we don't need to see them. You know, some people message and say, oh my God, in my side photo, like my arms are cut off at the elbow. Is that a problem? Absolutely not. Again, unless your wrists and hands are particularly shredded or beautiful or have undergone an incredible transformation, they really don't need to be in the photo. So you don't need to hyper fixate on, will this be disqualified? The only reason you would be disqualified would be if you uploaded separate sets of pictures. Every competition, we have quite a few people who do it. They upload 8 photographs instead of 4. So you're only supposed to be uploading 4 photographs. And in one photograph, you have 2 pictures, your before and after. In the second photograph, which is just a square, you have the before and after. So 4 images, but there's 2 photos in each image. Every single competition, we have people upload 8 images. We do not accept those. We just immediately discard them. We do not go through the hassle of putting them together. And you're just instantly disqualified. Although I have to be honest, in the past, I think one of our top 10 did upload 2 photographs side by side. No, not side by side, sorry. She uploaded separate sets of photographs and her transformation was so phenomenal. We actually did reach out to her and say, you've uploaded your photos incorrectly, but your transformation is phenomenal. So we're giving you an opportunity to re-upload. It was the same day we noticed, and she was like, oh my God, and she put them together and she re-uploaded them. So that's kind of how generous we are. Sometimes though, or what we will do though, is if you put your after photo on the wrong side, so as you're looking at the photo, right, it should be your before photo on the left, your after photo on the right. It's amazing how many people do it the wrong way around. They put their after photo on the left and their before photo on the right as you're looking at the photo. If that happens, we will instantly disqualify you, because it's like, that's a very simple rule to follow. Before on the left, after on the right, and if you don't do that, you will be disqualified. But apart from that, to be honest, we really do, like, we're pretty generous with what we do. So yeah, right, I'm going to we're pretty generous with the rules. I'm going to say, I just realized, sorry, I don't have my ring light plugged in, and it's going to get very dark here soon. So I just thought I would plug it in. I'm very shiny, actually. from recording the workouts. So, okay, there we go. Because it'll get dark here soon and then I'll be sitting in darkness. Next question. Nadine Byrne, can you please remind me the ideal time for eating carbs, proteins, and fats relative to the time of workouts? What is best before and after? There is no rule, Nadine, honestly. And if you had to listen to any of the previous Q&As in ButtCamp, which I'm thinking you might not have, I covered this extensively, which is there is no good or right time. What works is what works for you. There is what is called the anabolic window, which is a term used in bodybuilding, which suggests that if you eat 30 minutes, if you eat carbs 30 minutes after training, within 30 minutes of training, and preferably protein, carbs and protein within 30 minutes of training, that the carbohydrates will be more readily used to build and repair your muscle tissue rather than being sent to fat store. So if you wanted to be picky about it and you're like, I really want, to do something that makes me feel like I'm doing more, then you could time your carbs to within 30 minutes of post-training. But that only applies if it's a white starchy carb. If you're eating oats directly after training, those oats take about 2 hours to break down and get into your bloodstream. So that's not, or about an hour and a half really, that's not going to make any difference. It has to be a very fast acting carb, something like pasta or white pasta, white rice, Vitargo, which is high molecular weight carbohydrate, which you would put in your protein shake, or something like that, which is going to be absorbed into the bloodstream. That's really the only way that the 30-minute window actually counts. Apart from that, genuinely just show up consistently for a long period of time and your body will change. That's all that is required. Women get so fixated on the correct supplement timing and the correct nutrient timing and the correct whatever, but really all you need to do is just simplify it for yourself. I think that we tend to overcomplicate things, and we overcomplicate it and we try to fit in the timing window, and we try to fit in the eating window, and we try to fit in the supplement window, and we think that this will make our results go faster. I usually find that just leads to disappointment, because if you do that consistently, one, you just make it harder for yourself. So not only is it hard to show up and train and do your cardio and prep your meals, but now you're trying to time your workouts, time your supplements, time your food intake, time your pre-workout supplements and food, time your post-workout supplements and food. And so you make it harder for yourself for a short period of time. And because it's harder, you look in the mirror after a month of training and you're disappointed by your results, because you've actually made it harder for yourself. So you think that because it's been harder, you should have gotten better results, because you feel that the effort you've put in is not being reflected in what you see in the mirror. So I like to flip that on its head, and I say, why not just make it as easy as possible for yourself? Why not make it so easy that whenever you look in the mirror in a month, you'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe I got these results, because it was so easy, like, I think that's a much better way of doing it. There's a lot of women in the group who've been posting pictures and saying, I actually can't believe my results. I've lost 13 pounds. I am leaner. I've lost, 16 inches. And honestly, I didn't follow the meal plan at all. And I only did 50% of the workouts and 50% of the cardio. I can't believe I got these results. That's what I would prefer all of you were saying. Not that you're only doing 50% or 80% of something, but rather than, even if you're doing it 100%, you make it so easy for yourself by not overcomplicating things with food and timing and all the rest of it, that you look in the mirror in a month and go, wow, like how easy was that to lose that 8 pounds, 10 pounds, 15 pounds, or to build that muscle or whatever. Like, does that not just sound so much nicer? Like just make it as easy as you possibly can, and then you'll be surprised at what you get. I think the harder we make it when we do it, the more results we expect, because it feels hard. But just because it feels hard doesn't necessarily mean you deserve any better results, because muscle only responds to stimulus. It doesn't respond to nutrient timing, supplement timing, food timing, protein, carbs, and fats timing. People like to think that it does, but genuinely, the way it responds is far, far, far less than the effort it puts in to create all that. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying by that? It's like the tiny, tiny little marginal gain that you might get from overthinking and over timing everything will not be reflected in what you see in the mirror. So I just think there's no point, right? You want to make this a lifestyle. You want to keep going in the long term with this. Make it as easy as you possibly can. Show up every day, do your training, do your cardio, meal prep as best you can. Try not to overeat. And I promise your life will change in 12 months, right? 6 months, you'll definitely go, oh shit, right, I really am noticing differences. 12 months, you'll really have a different body shape. 3 years, you'll be completely transformed. But that's how long it takes. You can't do it any faster. No matter how much you try, you'll just make yourself miserable in the process. So I just say, there's no point making yourself miserable. You may as well make it nice and easy as you can. Eat when you can, drink when you can, take your supplements when you can. The only thing that you is a non-negotiable for you is that you do your strength training 5 times a week. Doesn't have to be Monday to Friday. You can do whatever. You do your strength training 5 times a week. If not, 3 to 4 is fine, but 5 will get you better results. And if you have fat to lose, you also do your cardio 5 times a week if you can. 3 to 6 times a week, right? You do your cardio. If you do that consistently for a long period of time, way beyond ButtCamp and Buns and Guns and whatever, that is what will transform your body. And everything else can just kind of be played with. Just get the basics right, remain consistent on the basics, and I promise your body will change. Okay, Karen Chimes Malin. Short question. Wondering if the Buns and Guns will continue to work the abs. I love how much this program did. Okay, so Karen, abs were not worked anywhere near as much in this program as they will be in Buns and Guns. So in Buns and Guns, there's some ab work in the cardio sessions, but there's ab work every single day in the strength training sessions. So the strength training sessions are what I would consider more full body. They are 3 days a week are much more leg and glute focused. One of those leg focused days will be quad focused. The other two will be quad, mostly glute focused with quad and hamstrings thrown in. Then 2 days will be upper body days focused, but they will have glutes and hamstrings in those days as well. On all of the glute days, there's also upper body days. So the upper body goes between chest and back, biceps and triceps, shoulder and back, or, the rear delts and stuff. But every single day, in fact, shoulders are worked 2 or 3 times a week. Chest is worked again twice a week. Back is worked twice a week. Biceps are worked 3 times a week. Triceps are worked 3 times a week. But every single day has upper body work in it. Some has more upper body work, some has a little less, but they really are more full body workouts. So you're getting more done in less time, but more intensely. Every single day has 3 minutes of abs at the end of it. And you might think, oh, 3 minutes isn't very long. Well, 3 minutes 5 times a week adds up to 15 minutes of abs a week. But it's the 3 minutes consistently every day that really makes a difference. And the ab workouts are not easy. So you're going for 50 seconds with a 10-second rest, 50 seconds, 10-second rest, and then last set is a minute. So you're going 3 minutes of straight abs every day. And I have started to notice, I've never trained abs consistently, but I've started to notice my abs transforming. I've noticed them getting stronger, more defined. And now I'm like, oh yeah, there actually is something to this ab work. Understand that working your rectus abdominis, which is just the abs at the front of your body, they don't do anything except help you to breathe better. Your rectus abdominis do not support the body. They do not make the body better, stronger. They don't give you any functional strength. They just look good. So people train their abs because having a chiseled set of abs looks good, but they have no functional strength in the body. And genuinely, I like looking good, but I'm more about functional strength. So I've never trained abs because bikini athletes don't ever really train them because we don't want to have a chiseled six pack. You actually get marked down on the stage as a bikini athlete if you have visible six pack abs because it means you're too shredded. So we never train abs for that reason. But now that I've started to train abs, I have noticed that my six pack is now starting to emerge. So you only need 3 minutes a day, and that is all in Buns and Guns because I know that you guys love the abs. And honestly, what I'm doing at the minute with all these workouts is I'm actually shaping and forming the B-Sculpted program, which is launching, I think, next March. Oh my God, I'm starting to plan it now, and you've no idea what I have done and how I have. Oh, see all the feedback I've been getting from all of these programs. Like these programs have inadvertently, not, I didn't plan it this way, but your feedback on the workouts has been shaping the ultimate formula for B-Sculpted, which is launching next March. And the ultimate formula of like the perfect amount of time with the perfect amount of work. We're going to be building levels into each workout. So level one, and they'll have like, almost like gamification where it's like level one and level two. So you're actually going to be able to choose level 1, 2, or 3 within the workouts and then show your own progression over time. I'm so excited about this program. I'm not excited about the amount of recording that we're going to have to do. I made a whole document last week of all of the recording and I highlighted everything in yellow. I put in every single session that needs recorded and I showed it to my husband. I turned it around in the living room and I was like, this is all the recording that needs done for the launch of B-Sculpted in March, and he was like, oh no, Kim, you're gonna have to get someone else. He said, you can't do all that. I was like, well, I have Amy. And Amy's actually coming to work for the company full time now, which is incredible. So I was like, yeah, I know it's a lot. So anyway, I digress. B-Sculpted is going to be absolutely phenomenal, and it's going to have kind of the ultimate body. It's going to be the ultimate body shaping tool for women, and it's going to be like on a 3-month recurring payment. Oh my God, it's going to be amazing. I can't share it with you guys. Okay, I'm digressing. Stop it, Kim. Stay in the moment. So abs, yes, lots of abs. You're all going to have shredded six packs. Nana Money, sweaty Nana, how are you? Love you so much, sweaty Nana. First of all, thank you. She says, how do we get the most out of recovery week without feeling like we are losing momentum mentally or physically? How do I know when it's time to stop chasing fat loss and start focusing on maintenance or building? Okay, so I'm going to answer that part of the question first. It's time to stop chasing fat loss whenever you have achieved your goal. Whenever you have achieved your fat loss goal and you are at the body fat percentage that makes you feel happy when you look in the mirror, that's when you stop chasing body fat goal. It's never sooner than that. People always say, when should I focus on building? I'm like, well, are you at your ideal body fat percentage? And they say, well, I have another 10 pounds to lose. I'm like, well, lose the 10 pounds. Lose the 10 pounds, because if you're not happy with the extra 10 pounds that you have now, you're certainly not going to be happier with more muscle and 10 pounds, because you're going to be bigger. And then you're going to be saying, oh, Kim, I want to go buy it. I said, put on weight and I don't know what to do. So you never change your goal until you've achieved your goal. But most people get bored, right? They get bored before they get to the goal. They're like, this is so hard. I can't believe I'm always on low calories and I'm always dieting. And I'm like, well, sweetheart, this is life. If you want to be fit and shredded and sculpted, life is hard. There's no point where you stop and go back to go back to eating all of your favorite foods every day. Like, if you want this to be your body, if you want a different body in the future, there's no going back. You're not doing this for a period of time. And Nana, I'm not saying this to you, I'm just in general, but you're not doing this for a period of time until you achieve your body goal and then you go back to the way you were. If you go back to the way you were, you'll go back to the body shape that you had. If you want to look like me, which many of you do, then you have to understand that your entire lifestyle has to change, and it has to change forever, because your body is a reflection of your lifestyle. And if you change your lifestyle back to what it was, your body will change back. So it's not like you're only doing this for a period of time and then you can go back to eating granola for breakfast and a baguette for lunch and spaghetti bolognese for dinner. Like, it doesn't work that way. All of those, when you could have those things, but you'd have to eat very, very, very small portions of them in order to stay very lean. So this is not, you keep going until you achieve the body that you want. And believe me, when you get there, you will realize what it took to get there. And then you'll be like, oh crap, I actually can't go back, because I know how hard it was to get here in the first place. So don't stop, Nana. Don't shift to focusing on building muscle exclusively until you reach your fat loss goal, because the only difference, the only thing you will change if you focus from fat loss to building muscle is you will eat more. And if you eat more, you will stay at your current body fat percentage, or you will gain more. It's not like you switch to eating more and suddenly your muscles start growing like crazy. This is an urban myth perpetuated by Instagram and TikTok and these fitness influencers, saying the problem with women and why they can't change their bodies is they're not eating enough and they're all doing endless hours of cardio. Who the fuck is doing endless hours of cardio? I have been running this company for 10 years. I have educated more than 500,000 women. And let me tell you, in the 500,000 women that I have educated, I have yet to see one that fits into the category of doing endless hours of cardio and starving themselves. Those women don't buy fitness programs from me. And I'm sure they do exist, but they're in the very small minority. But that's what trainers say, because women go, oh, that's me. I'm doing endless hours of cardio and starving myself. So I'm going to buy this person's program who said that I have to eat more and move less, because they want to eat more and move less. They want someone to tell them that this is the problem of why they're not losing weight. You know why? Because it's easier and it feels nicer. And when you love someone to tell you that your problem, the reason why you're overweight is because you're eating too little and you're moving too much. If they could put that in a pill and sell it, they would be billionaires. So that is the perpetual myth that is swarming the internet. I had some woman give me some AI chat GPT, some trainer in Atlanta, telling me that I'm wrong, wrong, wrong on my Instagram the other day, and this is so the wrong message to be sending to women, that they should be starving themselves. I'm not saying women should be starving themselves. I'm saying that women should be. And I said, well, first of all, ChatGPT wrote your answer, and so it's very hard to respond to a robot, right? If you want to have a conversation with me, at least have the audacity to write your own bloody comment. Secondly, I've been educating tens of thousands of women every year, and I have yet to find one of them that is doing too much cardio and eating too little food. It's just scientifically impossible that someone is 20 to 30 pounds overweight and that they're doing too much exercise and eating too little food. It is scientifically impossible. So I'm sorry, but that is totally the wrong message to be sending to women. It really is. It's a lie. It's an absolute lie. And I've always been a truth teller. Oh my God, I'm off on a total rant there. Big deep breath. Okay, I'm back. How do we get the most out of recovery week without feeling like we're losing momentum mentally or physically? So, Nana, here's what is really important. You don't need to rest in recovery week. You really don't. If you want to keep going, you want to keep training, you rock on with your bad self. But let me tell you what happens when you take a week off. If you take a week off, you've just come through a really intense period of training and cardio. If you take a week off, and I don't mean lie on the couch and eat cheesy puffs, okay? I mean, like, stay active, like go for a walk and, maybe play some tennis or whatever your thing is that you love to do with, someone that you love to do it with. But if you take a week off training and a week off cardio, you will have a mental and a physical reset. But if you decide to do it, you have to give yourself permission to do it. You have to understand that doing it is good for you. There's the worst thing you can do is take a week off because Kim said I should, but you literally worry the whole week and you feel guilty and you feel like I should be moving, I should be doing something or whatever, because you feel like and somehow you're damaging yourself. You will not damage yourself. You will not put on any body fat. You will not lose any muscle mass. None of it, right? It takes an enormous amount of calories to put on 1 pound of body fat. You have to overeat by about, I can't even remember what the number is, but it's huge. It's thousands and thousands. You have to overeat by like 6,000 calories or something to put on 1 pound of body fat. So it's very hard to put on body fat. Yeah, you might hold on to a bit of water. And then what happens is, a lot of people don't realize this either, your muscles become flat because they're not pumped with glycogen or blood. So I just had 2 days off there, and I looked in the mirror last night and I was like, oh wow, like I don't have any shoulder muscles anymore. But it's not that I don't have shoulder muscles, it's just that I've been training twice a day for a long time. So my body has been perpetually pumped and filled with blood. Whereas whenever you take a rest, your muscles soften and they're not filled with glycogen and filled with blood, and you don't have that pump, and your body holds on to a wee bit more water subcutaneously, and so your muscles look a bit softer. It's not that you've lost muscle mass, it's just that your body has softened a little bit because you have softened a little bit. It's the same as a lot of women in the group are complaining this week. I'm saying, they're saying, oh my God, my butt looks so flat, I look like I've lost, my muscles look so flat. It's because you've all been so depleted of glycogen, because your calories have been low, your carbs have been low, your output has been high. So your muscles have no glycogen in them whatsoever. They have no fullness to them. When you do a bodybuilding competition, you look your best about 3 days after the competition because your muscles go, they fill up, they burst with the sugar. You can actually feel your muscles expanding in your skin after you've done a bodybuilding competition because you've been starved, depleted, dehydrated. So your muscles are flat as a pancake. As much as you try and pump them up for the stage, whenever you go back to eating carbs, and you eat a lot after a bodybuilding show because you're so starving mentally and physically, your muscles after about 3 days start to pump up and fill with all the glycogen. So you look better. You look bigger and you look better. So it's not that you've lost a lot of muscle or anything like that. It's that your body's super depleted. So if you're looking at your ass going, my ass looks worse than before, it's because your ass is screaming for carbs. It's like, give me carbs so I can give you something back in the mirror. So once you start eating carbs again now, once you guys start, eating normally for a few days, you will notice that like by today, tomorrow, Wednesday, you look in the mirror, you'll be like, holy shit, like I look fuller. But it also makes you feel, if you have a layer of fat still, it makes you feel like you put on weight. It makes you feel, oh my God, I'm bigger. You're not bigger. Your muscles have just filled out. So you have to understand how the body works with glycogen and how it stores glycogen. Stored glycogen makes your muscles appear bigger. And whenever your muscles have no glycogen, then they're kind of deflated and a bit small and a bit striated. But it's the glycogen that does it. So that's why sometimes at the end of a shred program, your muscles look a lot smaller. And that's why I advised for all of you who, I know loads of people didn't listen to the call last week, and you really missed out if you didn't. And I could tell by the questions that were being asked in the group that you didn't make, not you guys, because you're all the diehards, right? You're here every week taking notes, just the diehards on the call. But then there's a lot of people who don't listen to the Q&As, and I think, oh, wow, what a pity. What a pity that this person entering the competition to win $10,000 didn't make the time to listen to the Q&As, because they missed out on so much information. Because last week I talked about carb loading, water loading. I said, eat the carbs before, the night on the Saturday night, eat carbs on the Sunday morning, eat carbs on the Saturday afternoon, pump up your muscles. I gave a real good strategy for making your after photos look amazing. I also talked about the before and after photos. I'm going off on another rant now. Please indulge me for a second. I also talked about the after photos, and I talked in the Q&As about how I gave like specific strategies to win. I was like, coat yourself in tan, put on a pair of heels, put on your hair and makeup, pose like you mean it, like watch the videos, read the PDF, wear something different in the after photo, because that catches the judge's attention. If we're scrolling hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of entries and you're wearing blue in the before and red in the after, and you've got your hair and makeup on and you're tanned, and we're like, whoa, like it instantly catches our attention. And I'm seeing so many photos coming through of people, same outfit, no tan, no hair, makeup, nothing, no effort made in the after photos. Not that it matters, okay? You'll still be judged, and you'll be judged fairly. So I'm not saying that you will be put through, you're more likely to be put through if your after photos had a different bikini or tan or hair or makeup or whatever. It's not true. We will assess every single one. But what I'm telling you is it's much easier to catch someone's attention when they're scrolling hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of before and after photos if you make the after photo look very different to the before photo. And now I can imagine lots of you on this are panicking, going, oh shit, I'm going to go and retake my after photo and resubmit my photos because I totally didn't listen to the call and I missed that bit. It's not going to matter. We are going to judge you fairly. I don't want you to think that we're not, right? We totally are. But I just want you to understand that, listening to the calls is so important, right? It's so important to listen to the calls, because that's where you get all the extra pieces of information that are not in the customer hub. So what was the question? Now that you've indulged me on my rant, thank you very much. Nana was asking, how do I get the most out of recovery week? So you want to, Nana, give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to take a break. Take a week off. Go and spend time with your loved ones. Veg out on the couch. Watch the Netflix series that you've been putting off. Eat loads of food. Like loads of food. Like stick to your diet, 80% of the time if you want, if that makes you feel better. But all those treats and all those things that you've been dreaming about for the last 8 weeks, go and eat them. Eat them all. Drink them. Eat them, like whatever you want to do. Rest, recover, indulge, relax, enjoy the recovery. And then on Monday, right back into Buns and Guns, because I know you've joined Buns and Guns. Then we will start on Monday, Buns and Guns. And let me tell you, I have recorded the workouts for Buns and Guns, and I'm going to tell each and every one of you now that if you do not take at least a few days recovery, preferably a week, you will regret it, because Buns and Guns is intense. Now, you can work to your own level. You can take longer breaks if you need them, but Buns and Guns is intense. It is not an easy program. And I know that most of you are the overachievers of the group, watching the Q&As, listening to the calls. You're the type A's. Even the fact that you're asking these questions shows me that I'm in good company, type A's. So I know it's going to be hard for you to rest, but your body will thank you. Whenever you're resting, your body repairs all of the little micro tears in the muscle. Your body goes into full repair and recovery mode. Anything your body's been putting off because it's been so busy surviving for 8 weeks, it will go in and fix all of those little muscle tears, all of those little tendons, niggles. It'll heal all the little bits that need to be healed. And the good food and the good drink, or not even alcohol, I don't mean, but the good food and the good nourishment that you give it and the good rest that you give it will aid it in its recovery process. And then once it's recovered and back to full strength, boom, you hit it hard again on Monday and you go again for 4 weeks. That's the process of bodybuilding. That's the process of transformation. And if you skip that part, you will hurt your results in the long term, right? So you don't want to miss that part. You want to, but I know how hard it is to take a week off, and you do have to give yourself permission to do it. That's the hardest part. Or if you can't give yourself permission to do it, take this as your permission. I am giving you permission. Not only am I giving you permission, I'm saying if you have followed the program for 8 weeks and you have done 100% of the program or 80% of the program, 90% of the program, and you are feeling tired and a bit burnt out, I know you can get this like post-program euphoric, like, this is amazing, I feel incredible, I want to keep going with the workouts. You get this like rush of adrenaline when you finish and you want to keep training, and this is a lifestyle now, and I'm not gonna stop. But that will wear off very quickly. So don't allow that to cloud your judgment as to what's important. I believe it's important for anyone who has followed this program for 8 weeks. I believe, as your coach and your trainer, that it is important to take a week off. I think that you should, genuinely, for the sake of your body. But if you don't want to, I can't stop you. But even if you have 30 pounds still to lose, 50 pounds, 10 pounds, doesn't matter. You've got the rest of your life to lose it. Take the week off, rest and recover mentally and physically and emotionally, and then get going again next Monday. And that's honestly what I believe everybody should do. But it's completely up to you. And I know that you're big girls and you'll do whatever works for you anyway, as I would. But believe me, I've made these mistakes myself. I've not given myself time to recover. I've kept going and going and going and going. And I now build recovery weeks into my life. Like I think I take a recovery week probably every 4 to 8 weeks now, I would say, because of the intensity with which I have to record now. I would take a recovery week anytime I can. In fact, honestly, anytime I can take a recovery week, I do. So let that be your guide. Carrie Ann Hill. Kim, woke up this morning in a real funk, not knowing what to do next. Will I lose all my gains if I take the week off? I remember you saying what builds the muscle keeps the muscle. Okay, Carrie, hopefully you've listened to what I just said, because it all applies to you. No, you won't lose anything if you take the week off. What builds the muscle keeps the muscle over the long term, not over a 7-day period. Okay. So who's next? Gonzalez, Barb Gonzalez, the lovely Barb. Not a question, more of a suggestion. Would it be possible to add the how not to do the exercise and the proper way of doing it before the set starts? I know you're probably done editing the workouts, but maybe for future programs. It's so hard to look at the screen in the middle of the exercise when I'm trying to make the most of it. I feel like I'm lost doing what I can, trying to picture what you're saying, unable or unwilling to pause and look at the screen. So I hear what you're saying, Barb. And this is something that I struggle with whenever I'm doing the workouts, because it's very hard to give the proper form, the proper correction, all that kind of stuff during the workouts, and while still leading and following them, and all in 30 minutes. There's only so much we can put into 30 minutes. But the reason why I don't do that in between the sets is, first of all, I quite often need rest because this is my workout. Second of all, we're not doing a lot of rest in Buns and Guns. So in Buns and Guns, mostly it goes, we're doing everything in supersets. So you go chest, back, rest. Bicep, tricep, rest. So there's very little rest. So that would be impossible, is the first thing. Second thing is what you really need is a library of how-to videos. And that is something that we intend to record for B-Sculpted next year. You really need a library of specific exercises and how you do them and how you don't do them, because then you can watch the library and you can say, oh, that's how you do an RDL. Oh, right, that's the correct form for the squat. That's the correct form for this. So that is something we intend to build for B-Sculpted next year. We couldn't possibly put that into a $97 program, because that's the other thing that I struggle with, is trying to put too much into the programs. And I think for $97, getting like a weekly Zoom call with like the founder of the company, plus the meal plans, plus the free food guides, plus all the coaching in the group, plus all brand new workouts, brand new cardio, I think we give a lot for a very, very low price. So I have to be careful of devaluing the program as well for how much we give. So whenever I was thinking about creating the bank of exercise videos, it was like, do you know what? It would take a huge amount of time to record them. Not everybody would watch them. And I always have to weigh up the value of my time versus how much return that investment of time will bring financially, because my time is money in the company. So, but that is really what you need. And I hear you, and I'm not dismissing what you're saying. It just would be impossible to do it in the video. But I have thought about this quite a lot while I'm recording the workouts, while I'm doing them, and I'm doing an RDL, and I'm thinking, do you know what? Like, I really wish I could give them instructions before they start doing the exercises. But here's what I always remind myself of whenever I'm teaching. I remind myself of the fact that hopefully you guys are staying with me for a long time. And the exercises are mostly repeated. They're very similar exercise. We do RDLs continually. We do squats continually. We do hip thrusts continually. So maybe the first time you're doing an exercise with me, you might not get the perfect form or the correction or whatever, but that exercise is probably going to show up time and time and time and time and time and time again. And so you repeating the exercise time and time and time and time and time and time again over weeks and weeks and weeks and months and months and months, very soon you're gonna be like, oh, now I get it. Oh, now I know exactly what she's saying. Oh my God, okay, this form, right? Now I get what she's saying. So what gives you the correct way of doing things, or what creates that aha moment where it clicks and you say, now I understand, is actually you doing something repetitively for a long time. It's very difficult. Sometimes it's very hard to take in a lot of data at once. It's hard to listen to what I'm saying, watch what I'm saying, perform the exercise, look at the timer, get your dumbbell set up. In the beginning, there's always struggle. But then that struggle becomes easier over time as you get more used to doing the exercises. And so that is what I hope happens over a time and consistency of training with me. There's a lot of people here, have been with me for a long time. Have been with me from the very start of me recording these workouts, doing the home workouts, which started in March this year. And a lot of you have been with me for a long time. And so by now, you know the cues, you know the exercises, you know that I say it's okay to do this at a 45-degree angle, or bring your hands into here, or hands out wide, lift your chest, walk your shoulder blades together, plug your arm bones into your shoulders, take your shoulders out of your ears. All the little cues that I give them continually, repetitively, time and time and time and time and time again. And then one day that little cue clicks. So showing up consistently is what will give you the best form. But an instructional video would help. I do hear you, and that will come next year. Rita Faltolu. Thank you for all your wisdom and helping us achieve great results. You're very welcome, Rita. Thank you for showing up. Are you planning on visiting Australia again? Would you consider doing a live strength or cardio session with a meet and greet afterwards if there was a huge interest in it? Would love to meet you in person. Rita, I get this all the time. I am planning on visiting Australia. I don't know if we were maybe hoping to go for a week in the new year in January to see my parents-in-law. And then we're definitely going for a longer period of time in January 2027, because it's my mother-in-law's 80th birthday, God willing. So I have thought about doing a meet and greet in Australia so many times when I'm there. The problem is I'm usually there for such a short period of time, and I have to see family when we're there. And so it leaves very limited time to do anything else. So that's why I haven't, but it's definitely on the books for the future. I promise. It is silly for me to come all the way to Australia and not do it. But same as whenever I go to America, like I was in New York a couple of times recently, and I really should have done some kind of meet or greet. But again, I was only there for a short period of time. I was spending time with friends and family. So I need to actually plan like a world tour or something, which definitely will be on the cards, especially after B-Sculpted launches, but it might not be for a year or two, unfortunately. But we need to do a world tour where we literally do a world tour and we fly Australia, Canada, America, UK, we do all around, and we do training sessions together or something. That would be really fun. So definitely on the cards. Tundi Toth, shouldn't you wear the exact same underwear or bikini in both after and before pictures? I saw a lot of people wear a completely different cut outfit, which can result in different looks. I was wondering if that counts. So Tundi, I can tell you did not listen to the Q&A last week, because I covered this extensively and also earlier in this Q&A. So short answer, completely up to you. We will not disqualify anyone. We will not, even if you show up with no tan, with your hair a mess, no makeup on, no heels, exactly the same outfit, but your results are phenomenal, then you're going through, right? We're not going to say, well, she didn't make an effort, so we're not putting her through. Won't happen like that. But you will catch the judge's attention if the after outfit is different than the before outfit, because that just makes the eye stop. It just gives, so when you're scrolling in your Facebook feed, scroll. One of the best ways to get attention whenever you're running ads on Facebook is to do something which catches attention. I used to go, stop scrolling. That used to be how I opened my video. Stop scrolling. And people would be like, oh, what? And they would stop. And then you would say, hi, got your attention. I'm Kim Constable, founder of The Sculpted Vegan. You have to disrupt people's attention. And so if you're wearing blue in the before, red in the after, boom, you're going to catch the judge's attention when they're scrolling all of the competition entries. So, but is it mandatory? No, completely up to you. But if I $10,000 was on the line, here, I'd love to win $10,000 to go into my personal bank account. It'd be great. So, first prize, $10,000. If I was in the running for $10,000, I'd be doing everything I could to catch the judge's attention. I'd be studying marketing. I'd be like reading every marketing book. How can I make myself stand out more? Like, this is marketing. You're marketing yourselves. Don't forget. For $10,000. Sounds a bit seedy, actually, but you know what I mean. Leah Kozatsky. I completed ButtCamp 3, loved it so much. I noticed that come week 7, when the calories dropped, it was more of a mindset challenge than a physical one. My question is, how do I regulate my nervous system from not panicking that my mind thinks it's going into starvation mode? I felt great during those lower calorie weeks, but noticed a panic when I dropped more weight, and then I would sabotage it a bit. So Leah, there's a really simple answer to this. You don't need to regulate your central nervous system. You just need to train your body that it's okay to eat lower calories. So here's a little experiment, right? I want everybody who, if you can, if you want to join in, you don't have to, right? It's not mandatory. But if you're wearing a watch right now, okay, I wear a watch on my left wrist. I want you to take your watch off and I want you to put it on your right wrist. Just bear with me, right? First of all, I'm trying to put it on my right wrist. And now I'm like, and normally when I put this watch on, it's so easy. I know how to fasten it, right? But now I'm like, oh, how do I fasten it? Like, even fastening it is like, if I put it on here, my body goes into, I can like push it in. I'm like, oh yeah, you clip it in and then you push it through, right? I don't even have to think about it. Clip it in, push it through. I just went to put that on my right wrist and I'm like, how does it go? Does it push? Does my brain doesn't even know how to fasten it on my right wrist. But let's try it. Okay, now that I did it on the left, I know how to do it on the right. So I'm clipping it in and I'm fastening it. Okay, no, it's too tight. I put it on too tight. Right. So, but do this with me if you can. If you're wearing a watch or something else that you would wear routinely, maybe your Oura ring, right? Take your Oura ring off and put it on your other hand, your other finger. Okay, now I have my watch on there. How does that feel? Feels weird, right? Doesn't that feel screwy? You're like, for me, it's like, oh, does it always dig into my wrist bone like that? Does it? And it feels heavy and it feels like it's in the way. I am aware of this watch on my wrist. I wasn't even aware of it on my left hand. So, but here's what would happen. If I started wearing that watch on that wrist within 7 days, maybe sooner, I'm guessing, but certainly within 7 days, I probably wouldn't notice it as much. And within 30 days, if I had to take that off and on, my body would have just do it. Like, I couldn't even get the damn thing on because I wasn't sure, did I clip it in first and then push it? Or like, my brain had to relearn putting my watch on because I simply put it on the other side. That's what it's like when you start something new. It's not that it's particularly hard, and I really want to take this off now and put it back on the left. Isn't that fine? I'm like, no, I'm going to keep it on. I'm going to keep it there. Force myself. So that's such a good example of how the brain responds to change. We go, like, that's a watch. I could be like, oh my God, it's so hard. Like, but my brain doesn't know. But oh my God, but my brain doesn't know how to fasten the watch. There's something wrong with me. Like, I must be broken in some way because I didn't know how to fasten that. Like, what is wrong with me? Like, is the right side of my brain not working and the left side is? And oh, this just feels wrong. It feels like maybe my wrist is broken. Maybe the nerve endings on my right side aren't firing correctly. Or maybe they're not firing on the left. Maybe I should be feeling it more. Like, do you see how I could completely overcomplicate that? Other than it's just, I put my watch on my right, now it feels a bit weird. But we would never think that. Like, if I said to you, I put my watch on my right and it feels weird, practically every single person would hear would go, yeah, I know what that's like. It feels weird when you do something different, but you know what? You'll get used to it in a few days. And if I asked anyone here, how long will it be until I'm used to it? You'd say, oh, a few days, you'll be used to it. Don't worry, it'll be fine. But yeah, when it comes to fitness and the calories drop, we're like, oh my God, this is so, like, I feel this feeling in my body, and we start to panic, forgetting it's dropping your calories is literally like moving your watch from your left wrist to your right. It's exactly the same process. The brain is resistant to change. So it doesn't matter if you're moving your watch, moving your ring, if you're starting a new program, if you're going from gym workouts to dumbbell workouts, because let's face it, a lot of you here gym bunnies were a wee bit resistant to working at home with the dumbbells, thought you might not work as hard till you were in the session with Auntie Kim, and then you realized. Yeah, so That's all the brain does. The brain gets resistant to change. And then the brain tries to get you to go back to what you were doing before because it doesn't like or understand this. The brain's job is to keep you comfortable. And how the brain keeps you comfortable is by keeping you doing what you were doing before. So if you change and it's suddenly hard, it doesn't mean that it's wrong or hurtful or harmful, which is what many of us believe. It's like, oh my God, when I was eating 1,200 calories a day, like, I was dizzy and I was constantly hungry. I'm like, so it's just a body feeling. But let me tell you what happens when you consistently eat low calories, which is what I do, your brain adapts. Your brain goes, oh, okay, so this is how we do life now. And so when you're hungry, your brain doesn't panic. You just go, oh wow, I'm hungry. But your brain doesn't send alarm bells, doesn't like ring alarm bells and send signals to your, like panic signals that you need to eat. Your brain just accepts the fact that, oh yeah, this hunger feeling is normal. This is part of life now. So that's what happens, Leah. It's not about adapting your central nervous system or regulating it from not panicking. It's about understanding how the brain works. The brain works by it wants to keep you exactly the same. But here's why this is so powerful. Because once training all the time and doing cardio all the time and eating lower calories or healthier calories all the time, once you do that consistently, then not doing it becomes painful. Da, 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 da. So not training becomes like hard. Like, look how many of you here are panicking about taking a week off, right? And it's only the people who've been training for a long time are panicking about taking a week off because they're thinking about taking a week off and the brain's going, no, 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 that's not what we do. We train all the time, every day, intensely. Intensely. Every day we have the heart rate spike, we have the muscular soreness, we have like the go, 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 go. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Try. No, no, no. This is comfortable. This is what we know. This is habitual for us. It's a homeostatic norm. Don't you dare take a week off. You're all panicking about taking a week off because you think you're going to ruin your gains. No, no, no. That's just your brain sending alarm signals and then you applying logic on top of the signal, thinking that because you're feeling this way, it must be bad for you. No, none of that. Your brain is just resistant to change. So, but the beautiful thing about knowing that your brain wants to create homeostatic norm and is resistant to change is you can just go, oh, I think I'm going to change. And then, all these reasons and things come up as to why you should not change. And you can be like, oh, there's my brain trying to keep me safe and comfortable again. Thanks, brain. But it's okay. I've decided that I'm going to do this and I'm not going to listen to you. It's not dangerous, right? It's not going to harm me. I'm smarter than you. And then you can just do it. So, and this is really uncomfortable, FYI. I am so aware of this watch on my wrist. I want to take it off immediately. My brain this actually feels like a vice on my wrist. That's how it feels. It's actually triggering, like it's literally triggering such not a reaction in me, but I'm like, oh, really? This feels so incredibly wrong that I need to remove it ASAP, but I'm not going to because I know it's just my brain. And I'm weird. I'll do things like this sometimes. I'll like fold my arms. Remember I got you the other week to fold your arms the opposite way? Or was that in the menopause call? I can't remember. Got everybody to fold their arms the screwy way. Can't remember if that was the Tuesday one. Or if you ever, whenever you clasp your hands the opposite way, like put your other finger on top. So I will routinely do this. When I cross my arms, I will force myself to cross my arms the wrong way. And when I first started doing this, it was like, I had to go like this, right? I would cross my arms and then I would go. I actually didn't know how to cross my arms the opposite way. And oh, I'm frozen. That's so annoying it does that. Hopefully you can still hear me. I'm frozen like grimacing at the screen. So but anyway, it always happens at 5 o'clock. For some reason at 5 o'clock it freezes. Here it's 5 p.m. here. Now that I cross my arms the opposite way all the time, it feels normal. When I first started doing it, I actually got a pain in my shoulder. How weird is that? But that's my brain going, we don't cross our arms that way. That is not comforting to us. Cross them back. But now that I cross them this way, it's totally fine. Now when I cross my fingers, I put my other finger on top. I do all of these weird things. I cross my legs the opposite way. So we habitually do things one way and we try to do it the opposite way. The brain doesn't like it. But you just have to train the brain that nothing bad is going to happen. Okay, let me see if I can get through a few more questions. What would be the recommended calorie intake for this week? Erica is asking. She says, I don't want to gain back too much weight. You won't gain back weight, Erica. Just eat what feels good. If you intend to jump into Buns and Guns, eat what feels good. Eat whatever you like. Give yourself a total mental and physical reset, and you'll be totally fine. And Krebs, what realistic results can we expect in Buns and Guns if the meal plan is stuck to and all the workouts are done? Should we do extra cardio? And that's a very hard question to answer. That's like asking me how long is a piece of string. So in order for me to give you an answer, I would need to know what your current body fat is, how long you've been training for, what your intensity has been, how long you've been shredding for or building for, or like there's a lot of data. I cannot give realistic results without knowing someone's starting point because it will be different for everyone. Some people could lose, like we've had people in the past lose 30 pounds in 4 weeks. We've had people lose 12 pounds in 4 weeks. We've had, people put on a lot of muscle in 4 weeks. Like it just depends. So I can't give you that answer. But what I would say is don't go into it with an expectation. Go into it with the expectation that I'm going to train for 4 weeks and see what happens. I'm going to follow it exactly and see what happens. You don't need to do extra cardio. No. So just do, I mean, if you want to, you can rock on, wouldn't stop you. Will it cause more fat loss? Potentially. Yeah, but you don't have to, right? So just do whatever works for you. Okay, Laurie, I skimmed through the questions earlier, so I'm just going to go right to your question at the bottom. What is your take on the mind? And by the way, thank you for what you wrote. It's very beautiful. What is your take on the mind, body, soul connection and how it affects long-term goals? Laura, you love to ask me questions like this, and I don't have any answers for you, I'm afraid. I think you think that I'm a lot more spiritual than I am. I think you think I'm a lot more of a deep thinker than I am. But the whole mind, body, soul thing, it doesn't, and that's my honest to God's answer. I don't really think about things like that. I just get up every day and make a pact with myself that I'm going to live today with as much joy as I can in the present moment. And I've set myself a goal for what I'm going to achieve in the long term, and this is what it's going to take to work towards that goal. And I'm going to try not to sacrifice, my family or my fitness or my health while I achieve that goal. And I just work towards it every day. But I really don't focus too much on much else, to be honest. I think one of the biggest things that I can offer to anyone here is try to live in the present moment, because panic only exists if you visit the future or you revisit the past. So one of my practices that I do daily, especially if I ever feel overwhelmed and upset, is I literally breathe back into the present moment and I remind myself that I have never not gotten through something hard. I have never, my success rate for getting through hard days is 100%. 100% of the time I have survived. I have not gone bankrupt yet. I have not lost, my income, my family. I've not, like, my health. I have yet to not get through hard days. So when I find myself overwhelmed, I just come back to my breath, come back to my body, remind myself that I've been here before and I've survived. And the more you do hard things, the more you realize that, you can do hard things and you survive, and the less you panic. And that's honestly what I recommend that everybody does. Live in the present moment. I'm sorry it's a very short answer, but we're already quite over time, but I wanted to get through everything. Gina Felicita Merrick, should we rev up our metabolism this week by eating a lot more or continue with around 12 to 1500 calories and stay consistent? You don't need to rev up your metabolism. The goal of this week for anyone moving into Buns and Guns is literally just rest. Rest, enjoy yourself, take a mental and physical break, and then hop back into it next Monday. Don't be worrying about your calories. Just eat what feels good. That's honestly my recommendation. Eat what feels good. Kimberly Millian, oh, that was the same question she asked earlier about regarding the pictures. Will posing differently from before and after be a reason for disqualification? And the answer is no, unless you do like a double bicep or something, and then you will be disqualified. I can't believe I actually made it through all the questions, and I did go off on quite a few tangents, but I still managed to get through the questions, which is awesome. So guys, girls, I've just realized this is our last Q&A together at ButtCamp. But it's not like I know most of you are going over to Buns and Guns, which is really excited about, but it's not our last Q&A together ever, hopefully, because like I'm not going anywhere. I'm here for the long haul. You can't get rid of me that easily. Buns and Guns Q&A starts next Monday, or if you're in the app and you're doing it through there, your Q&A will be on a Tuesday as usual. So if you want to keep listening to me prattle on every week, Buns and Guns is where it's at. We're starting next Monday on Buns and Guns. It's going to be awesome. We have sold, how many have we sold so far? I'll tell you now how many people are in the challenge. Not even in the challenge. We have sold 754 programs, and we are ramping up the ad spend this week. We should sell about 100 a day. They actually, you know what? The prize fund won't end up as much as this one, which I hadn't thought of because a lot of people purchased the app whenever it was available. It's called the Menopause app, so they're actually doing the program in the app. So the prize money for Buns and Guns, I reckon, will probably hit about 20 grand, which means there will be less of a top 10, but it'll still be a $10,000 first prize, but there won't be as much for the minute. Like, it's, I think, sixth place to 10th place gets like $500 each in this one, so there won't be as much spread over the full top 10, unfortunately, but there will still be a top 10. So we do 10% of the entry fees as prize money. There's always a big flurry at the end. I reckon this will end up about 20 grand, but that's still not bad for, just before Christmas, and for having like 1,500 of our customers who are app members and don't actually have to purchase it separately. But all that is left for me to say is thank you so much. It feels like goodbye, but it's not goodbye. But thank you for being here. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for being so awesome, for showing up, for following along, for posting your pictures and your journeys and your struggles and just being such an incredible, awesome part of the community. Like, I genuinely, whenever, and it's getting stronger and stronger now, that when I'm recording the workouts, because of the constant feedback that I get from you guys in the Facebook group and in customer service and here in these calls, I really feel when I'm recording, when I'm talking to the camera, like I really feel now that the camera is the community. So when I'm talking into the camera and when I'm doing my gratitude at the end, like the gratitudes have actually become so much deeper and more connected, even in Buns and Guns, because I feel so connected to this community and so connected to you guys that I really feel like I'm speaking to each of you individually. And I do this weird thing whenever I'm talking into the camera, and I talk into it a lot more in Buns and Guns. What I do is I actually imagine different ones of you, because I know so many of your names and your pictures now, from being in the groups, and I imagine that I'm talking sometimes directly to you. And if I've seen someone struggling in one of the groups and struggling with something, it's funny, what I'll do is I'll energetically bring that person into my mind, and then I'll talk to that person in the camera. And so I have like this real wee moment of connection, with energetic connection with someone. And I actually should start like mentioning you by name now. Actually, that would be quite good. That might be another thing that I bring in, is actually mentioning, names, because you'd be like, "Oh, she said my name," that'd be like quite a nice one as well. But I just want you to know how much and I'm always like, from my heart to yours, and it is so true, from my heart to your heart. I just want to say, I know that you all praise me so much and say thank you to me so much, and it means so much to me, but I would be nothing without you. I wouldn't have the company. I wouldn't do what I do. I couldn't improve what I do. I couldn't have the connection that I do. I couldn't do what I do without you. We are indeed a collective. We are a collective of women. We are a cohort. We are a movement of women around the world, moving together, training our bodies together, creating something incredible together, using the energy generated from these programs to build something phenomenal, which is so much greater than just looking good in a bikini. It's this movement of women that we are creating. I feel so strongly that this is the way forward, and this can really help to transform women in a way that they've never been transformed before. And that's all because of you, and how committed you all are. And I wouldn't have that feedback to make it better if it wasn't for you. So I just want to say thank you. I know you all thank me, but I just want to, from the bottom of my heart, genuinely say thank you to each and every one of you for showing up for yourselves, and for showing up for all of the women in this group, and for showing up for me, because what we're building is really, really, really special. I can feel it, and I know that you can feel it too. And I promise you, I'm not going anywhere. I am back with a vengeance, baby. I took a wee sabbatical there for a while, but I'm back now, and we're going to create something incredible next year. And I hope that you guys are all going to be part of it, because this movement is just something I'm so excited about. And I will do an international tour where we do like events in each countries, and we'll all come together. And can you imagine? Here, that'll be pretty scary. Can you imagine, like, hundreds and hundreds of us in a room together. I just had a thought about like what that would be, and I just got like full body shivers. Like, oh my God, don't know if I could cope. I'd probably have a heart attack in the first one. I'd be like dead on the floor, be like, I think we killed her. Oh, that's actually quite funny. That made me laugh. So anyway, all that is left to say is thank you so much, all of you, each and every one of you, for being here, for bringing your energy, for bringing your best selves. Congratulations on everything you have achieved. Whether you won or not, you're all winners. You're all winners. The money, the competition, it's just something to keep you going through the hard times. Winning is not important. You won. You've won already. And you'll continue to win as long as you stay committed and continue to move forward with this journey. And I promise you, I'm not going anywhere. So hopefully you're not either. And hopefully I'll see you all next Monday. And you'll be like, we're back. Whole new program, whole new energy, whole new program, same energy. But hopefully I'll see you all next Monday. And if I don't, then please just stay in touch in the insiders group once this group closes after the winners are announced. And I'm sure we'll see you again in another program in the future. Okay. I love you all so much. Give me a big wave, everybody. Love seeing you all. So many. There's like pages of it. Let me see the next page. Oh, I don't want to press stop. I'm like putting it off. Valerie's kissing. Okay, love you all so much. Thank you all for being here. Okay, I have to end it at some point, right? I just have to cut the cord. Okay, I love you all. I'll see you all in the next program. Thank you for being here. Good luck in the competition. Can't wait to see your photos. And I'll see hopefully most of you next week. Okay, from my heart to yours. There's my heart on yours. Okay, I love you all. Talk to you soon.